Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start our adorable Halloween album using, hang on, let me grab it, I'm sure you've already seen the walkthrough. Say Cheese Halloween from Simple Stories. And I hope you can hear me today. I am trying out a new microphone because the one issue that I get all the time is that I speak too softly and it's hard for you to hear me. So I'm going to try and do better today, and I'm also going to take this bracelet off because it's probably going to wreak havoc with the sound. Hang on. Okay, over there. Okay, and I have all my pieces cut out, so let me just separate the pages from the page elements. And there is a cutting guide for this album, which you will find on my blog, and I will link it down below. So you're going to need 4 pages, and I want to give you the instructions for cutting this because it's a little bit special, and I will have a diagram for how you should cut this. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm just going to grab this 12-inch piece of paper. This is artisan cardstock in white, which is what I've been using. So you're going to need 2 sheets of this, okay? And I want you to take the first, let me think, is it 2 sheets you need or 4? 4, wait a minute, 4 sheets, sorry, 4 sheets. Okay, so take your first sheet, the first 2 sheets, cut them in half at 6 inches, 6 and 6, okay? And then you want to take, and I'm sorry, I'm consulting my cutting guide. Okay, so you cut it in 6, and then you want to cut each of the 6-inch strips that you then end up with at 7 inches. So you end up with a 7 by 6 and a 7 by 6. And the leftover piece that you're going to have is going to be 5 by 6, and hang on to those, okay? So do that with 2 pieces of your paper. Then take 2 more sheets and cut a 5-inch strip and a 5-inch strip. So you'll have a 5-inch strip, a 5-inch strip, and a 2-inch strip. Set aside the 2-inch strip to use later. And then cut the 5-inch strips at 7 as well. So you have 5 by 7 and a 5 by 7, and then you're going to end up with a 5 by 5 and a 5 by 5. And set those aside, save them. All right, so what you're going to end up with is, this is the 5 by 7, right? So you're gonna have a 5 by 7 and a 6 by 7. We're gonna put those together to form 4 pages, and that's gonna be for this book. But you're also gonna end up with 4 pieces, 6 by 5 and 5 by 5. And with that, you'll be able to make 4 5 by 5 pages for another album. Okay, so set those aside to be used in another album. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just make this page. As you can see, I've already made 3. So take your piece that's 6 inches, place it in your scoreboard, and score each side at a 1/2 inch with the 6-inch edge along the top. So 1/2 inch and 5 1/2. And what I always do is I score it at a 1/2, and then I turn it around and I score it at a 1/2 again, because I feel like that way I'm sure that each score line is the same size. You never know if the scoreboard is perfectly accurate or not, and I'm certainly not perfectly accurate, so okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that there. All right, and this is just like every other pocket page that I make. As you can see, I've already put my 3/8 inch score tape in the scored area, the tab. And I'm just burnishing that really well. Okay. And I'll grab my scissors, and I'm just going to trim the corners a little bit. go. All right. Burnish that again. I'm sorry if you can see my laptop there on the corner of the screen, but I'm having to use it to record the audio track with this new microphone. But I don't think it'll be too much in our way. Well, that doesn't want to come up. So you just want to pull back a little bit of the tape. Take your smaller piece and get those corners, this corner, lined up as best you can. Which in my case was not terribly good. Try it again. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then just go ahead and line it up the rest of the way and just pull out the tape. Here we go. Now, if you prefer, go ahead and use art glitter glue. I also do it that way, so whichever you prefer. All right, so there's our 4 pages. I don't know why I put those away. I know I'm going to need them. I'm certainly going to need that one. Okay. Mark. Okay. Now, let's... Hopefully I didn't get all my pieces mixed up. Let me grab those. Okay. Now, on the first page, and this book is going to go like this. This is going to be the spine. This is going to be the side pocket inserts. It's going to go like that. Okay. And we're going to do a pocket that goes, excuse me, right here on the bottom. I do want to cut that 8 by 2, 2.5, 8 by 2.5. Okay, I don't know why I'm setting it aside. I need it. Okay, so we're going to score the one long edge at a 1/2 inch and both of the short edges at a 1/2 inch. Okay. And set that aside. I'm going to trim my corners. Probably should have put my tape on before I trimmed the corners, but that's all right. Okay. Right. And actually, since I didn't put the tape on, I'll go ahead and use art glitter glue for this one, and you can see how to do it that way. So this is just going to make a little shallow pocket. Okay, but our pages are not very tall, so it's fine. All right. Go. I actually cut my pocket just a hair short on purpose, just to keep it some of the bulk away from that inside edge. But if that, if you're not concerned about that, then you don't worry about it. Just make sure it doesn't overhang either edge. Whoops. Well, hang on. Yep. Tip came off my glue bottle. All right. this is art glitter glue. It's the only glue I use as far as liquid glue goes. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I use Fabri-Tac, but pretty much only on flowers that are made of fabric or ribbons, things like that. I used to use Fabri-Tac a lot in my covers, but I seem to have gotten away from that. All right, so I'm just going to line this up nicely right along the bottom. Okay, just like that. Okay. Okay. All right, so there's our pocket on page 1. And then page 2, I have just a fairly large flap that's going to flap this way up, and I cut it big enough to make to use one of the 4x6 cut aparts on it. So you want to cut this 6.5 by 4 3/4. I cut this 4 3/4. I think it should be 5 because you can take a half off. Yeah. Okay, so mine's going to be a little, I'm going to just use a 1/4 inch tab, but cut yours 6.5 by 5. Okay, and then take your scoreboard, put the short edge across the top, and score it, in your case, at a 1/2 inch. I'm going to score mine at a 1/4 because I cut mine a 1/4 inch short, and that will solve my problem. Okay. Just trimmed off the corners. Burnish that nicely. And I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. Okay. And grabbing a baby wipe because I got a little bit of glue on the front there. Okay. I'm double checking the pockets at the bottom. This flap is going to go to the top, so just turn around so I can see it better. And just eyeball center for it. Okay, that looks good. And we are going to need a magnet for this flap. Just make sure that's not sticking up over the top at all. Okay, it's good. I'm just going to let that glue set for a second before I do that. And most likely I'm going to round those corners. Okay, so that's good. All right, so that's page 1. Very easy. And I'm wondering if we should go ahead and mat it. Not yet. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the next page. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. We'll set this one aside for now. And let's grab the next one and my pieces. See. Okay, I'm double checking what I'm doing. Okay. All right, so we have, I want to show you. All right, so we've got page 1, which is the little pocket. Page 2 is this flap. Page 3, I'm not doing anything just yet. I know what I'm going to put there, but it's going to be something that's going to be attached to the page. So we're not going to put anything on that page. Turn it over. So next up, we're going to have page 4 and also page 5. Okay, because these two pages are going to be facing each other. Okay, I got some kind of a mark there. All right, I don't know. Okay, and these are going to get full-size flaps that open like this. So we have a big, long spread because we have, and I'm sure you've already seen it because I will have done the walkthrough by now, but we have all these little, oops, almost dropped it, all these adorable little die-cut children, and we're going to do a whole trick-or-treating scene across these 2 pages. Okay, so for this, cut 2 pieces 5 by 7.5, and place the long edge across the top of your scoreboard and score it at 1/2 inch for both. It's going to be the same. Okay. Trying to make this kind of a quick, and well, all my albums are, they're not quick necessarily, but they're easy. So this one I want to do quite simple and easy so that you actually get it done. I mean, it seems like to me a Halloween album should just be not something that you're going to fuss over a lot. You want it to be cute, you want to put a lot of pictures in it, but you don't want it to take you months to make. And I think I will use tape. Probably should have put it on before, but I'm going to grab some 3/8 inch tape. And angle that slightly. And 2. Okay. And that was 3/8 inch score tape. And of course, feel free to use glue if you prefer wet glue. Now at this point you haven't got anything on either side of these pages, so it's not too critical, but you do want to end up with them going like this, okay? I'm going to put one on the left and one on the right. Okay. Okay. Oh boy, that doesn't look terribly straight, does it? Alright, so I am going to, it's also a little long, which is fine because it can be trimmed. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish that so it looks a little straighter. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Alright, so there's one. It's going to need a magnet. And let's do the other one. Be a little more careful to make sure it's straight. Make sure it's straight along these top and bottom edges. Okay. Now, one thing you can do, which I did not do because I wanted to have those extra pieces of paper to make the second book, is you can cut. Instead of cutting this 7, you could cut it like 7.5. Make it longer than you actually need. Make the page, put it in your paper trimmer, and then trim it exactly at 7. And then you don't have to worry about whether it's exactly the right length, or if you have any issues like that. Here we go. Looks good. And that's that one. Okay. Finish that down. I feel like that end wants to come up. Why is that coming up? Looks like the back of the tape did not. Looks like the back of the tape didn't fully come off there. Hang on. Oops, there we go. Okay, that's better. Okay. I forget what I was saying. Anyway, okay, so here we go. All right, these will both need magnets. They'll need. I don't know if I'm going to round the corners on those or not. I probably will, but we'll see. Okay, so we have Page 1 is our pocket, page 2 is the flap, page 3 is going to have an element that we haven't made yet, page 4 flips this way, page 5 flips this way, turn page 5 over, and we have a belly band that is going to go here, and I had a scrap, so mine is a little short, and I'm going to use 1/4 inch tabs for this, but let me give you the correct measurement for yours. This is the 2-inch piece that we had left over from when we cut those two 5-inch strip, 5-inch strip, and then you had a 2-inch. Cut your piece out of that. So it's going to be 2 inches by 8. Okay, and then put that in your scoreboard, the long edge across the top, and score at 1/2 inch. I am scoring mine at 1/4 because mine is short. Go. There's that. You do not have to trim the corners on this. They'll be totally covered by a mat. You do, however, want to do a nice dry fit on this and make sure that it is. All right, making sure we're putting it in the right place. Make sure that it fits. Okay, and this is a wide belly band for this particular spot. So if you want yours narrower, you could trim it. I'm leaving it wide because I'm thinking it might be fun to do some decorating of this. So I am, and I'm just giving this a little extra tug on it when I fold it over to make sure it fits. That's good. Pin back, of course. I'm always forgetting that. And I think I'm going to put this, whoops, I just got some glue where I don't want it. Get that. I was just thinking that I think, hang on, I'm just wiping that extra glue that I got there. I don't think I'm going to center this. I think I'm going to put it a little lower, a little below center. Right about there. And let me grab my rubber. I just want to make sure that it's reasonably straight. It's about 1 inch, inch. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so there's our fat belly band. And mine is sticking out just a little bit right there. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, it's definitely sticking out. Look at that. That's not good. Hang on. Let's see if I can get that up and fix that. Yikes. Well, I don't know how I missed that that was doing that. Okay. Hang on. I'm just going to give mine an extra little fold so I can get that to fit better. Of course, now it's a little short. Good. You will have cut yours correctly, so you won't have this problem. I hope it doesn't bother you that I make mistakes in almost every video, but they're always fixable. And if push comes to shove and you can't fix it, you just cut another piece. I just don't want to cut another piece. Okay, there's that. Now, since I futzed around with that so much, I just want to make sure that I didn't glue anything down that I don't want to. Okay. Alright, so now we have our flap, our belly band. All right, and so that goes like that. And then the final page, this page, the one next to the belly band, I'm leaving blank. We may add something down the road, we may not. I didn't do very well putting that together. But for now, I'm going to leave it blank. And then on the back page, I have a couple of pieces that I've cut, and I'm not going to give you measurements yet because I want to play around with exactly what I'm going to do with these. But what I'm thinking is we're going to do a pocket. It's actually going to be like this, a pocket that flips. You know, we've done these before a lot in my books. I like them. And I think that's what I'm going to use these 2 pages for, these 2 pieces. But you will have already had the measurements because they'll be in the cutting guide. But I'm going to play with that a little bit and just confirm exactly how I want to put that together before I show you. Okay, so I am going to stop here for just a little bit. Or at least it's only going to be a little bit for you. It may be a little while for me. And we'll come back, we'll finish this page. And we may have time to do a little bit of matting. I don't think this took very long. And I guess that's it. All right, so I'm going to see you in a few minutes, and we'll keep going. Okay, so I have the pieces for that last section. Let's do that. All right, let me give you the measurements. They'll be on the cutting guide. So cut a piece 4.5 by 5. Hang on. Yeah, 4.5 by 5, and then cut another piece 6 by 4.5. Okay, and you should have some scraps lying around that are about this size, I think, because I'm pretty sure I cut this out of scraps. Now take the smaller piece, place the 4.5 inch side across the top of your scoreboard and score it a 1/2 inch. And then take the other piece and score one long edge and both short edges. So we're going to make a pocket. Go ahead and, all right, so I'm going to trim out the corners. There's that. And then I'm just going to trim the corners here. And as you can see, I've got tape on all these tabs. Oh, I'm sorry, that's my alarm going off. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Okay, now, all right. So here we have tape on 3 sides, and this one we just have tape on the one. So this is going to be the flap, and then we're just going to apply this pocket to the front of it. Okay? Very straightforward. So I'm just going to peel that up. You know what? I feel like... Hang on. I'm doing that wrong. Sorry. It's very early in the morning. Okay. Let me just fold this over first. It's a lot easier to do if you do the folding before you remove the tape. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm just going to pull up the sides a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, and let's start with the bottom. And you want to line this up just against that score line, but not past it. Don't worry about the top. If it overlaps there, you can always trim a little bit if you need to. Okay, that looks good. Right. There we go. And let's see. Actually, my top lines up pretty well, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, it's going slightly. I'm just going to burnish that nice and flat. Okay, so then on our last page, if you remember, this side is going to be plain. This is going to go here. We may later put a flap to cover this so that it flaps, and then you have the pocket flap. I haven't decided yet, but for now we're just going to put down the pocket flap. I'm going to do that on this side here. And again, you're just going to line it up with the edge. Okay, just like that. Oh my goodness, that's crooked. That's what I get for doing things so early in the morning. I like getting up early and doing things, but I requested a change at work to where I would go in late in the afternoon and come home at night, and that would give me more time in the mornings to work on my channel and just do whatever errands and things need doing in the course of a day. So we'll see how that works out. All right, so now, while that's still wet, I'm just gonna put that there. Let's see how that looks. That's good. I'd rather have it be even here and here and a little off here, because it's not really going to be obvious here, but it'd be very obvious if it's off there. All right, so that undo is probably still damp. I'm just going to leave that for a minute. Okay. All right, so let's let that dry, and I'm going to cut some mats, and we will get started with putting down the adorable paper. Okay, I will be back in a little bit, and we will do that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to end this video here, maybe a short one, and when I come back, we'll start fresh in a new video putting down that paper. Also, I'm going to direct you to my video on construction to make the cover. You'll have all the directions you need there to make the cover. The sizes you need to cut your chipboard will be in the cutting guide. So just follow that cutting guide and make the cover. You're not going to need it immediately, but if you get a minute, go ahead and get that made and out of the way as well. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you've already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, please do so. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.